Hello everyone, thank you for joining. Welcome back to more Nordhold. I hope you are doing fine out there. Today I want to go through each tower and explain what I consider the best option of each tower. Also, I will talk about some generality that you should not ignore. And once again, disclaimer, this is just according to me and what I think is the best. Maybe there are better options. We can discuss it. We can argue. Let me know in the comments. And with that being said, let's get to it. First thing, I want to be talking about tower. There's something really important that you should increase and upgrade, level up for all the tower, no matter which build that you are running, which is, I have a growth for them, is accuracy and penetration. So accuracy will increase the chance to ignore the block by 25%. And this one, the armor, same, to ignore the armor by 25%. If you're not familiar with this, basically the armor will take 0 less damage. There are some mobs late game, they have up to 40%. So you will just, if you don't have that, they lose 40% of your DPS. And same here, he will ignore totally the damage. He will just block it. You will be doing no damage. And same, you have mobs that have 30 up to 40% in the endless mode. Even before the endless mode, there are some that have 20%. So we definitely need to get this maxed out. But before, actually, I can just show you the group that I have for this. I only got 2 here and 2 here, while normally it take 4, because as you see here, it's 25%. But 2 is enough, simply because you don't want to upgrade this till you got the university with this one here, because double the effect of upgrade for accuracy, penetration, and barrier damage. So you need to get this before actually considering upgrading the accuracy and penetration, because otherwise you will just lose in 1 level each time you upgrade. Instead of getting the double, like 50%, you will be only getting 25%. Now let's talk about barrier damage. So there is something really important to know. Each tower have different behavior, 2 behavior I will say, regarding the barrier. So I have one that actually does barrier damage, and you have others that just ignore the barrier damage. So if you have your tower that you are playing like the Runestone that just ignore the barrier damage, you don't have to care about actually the barrier damage itself. But if actually your tower doesn't ignore it, it's something that you should not ignore. You should increase this one, and you put at least, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 tower really in the front of your cluster of tower, and you just keep actually the focus. You change to just get actually the barrier damage. You increase a lot of barrier damage and you focus the barrier, because the barrier are really a pain. So this is actually what I wanted just to showcase in general. So some good knowledge that will improve your gameplay and your DPS. So now let's get to each tower one by one. And we will start with a row tower. So for me, a row tower, definitely you need to go for the fire rate. Mainly if you are playing the bleed, where you want just to stack a lot of stacks. So fire rate will just help with that. On top of that, you have the lucky shot that increase the damage, and you have also this one that increase the damage. You have also the rapid archer that if you just keep going, at some point it will be above 100%. If you're just stacking a lot of rapid archer, you have both in a row that also increase the fire rate. But I mean, for me, it should just be going for the fire rate, because you can increase the damage a lot through this banner here. So when it comes to a row tower, I just go all time with fire rate. Regarding the mortar, I go like this. I go with accuracy and penetration and everything to fire rate. Except if actually I'm not playing magma field, I don't want really to stack a lot, I might consider the damage, because simply we don't have any banner that increase your damage. You have this one that have like AoE damage, the magma field, the range, and fire rate. And this one increase the fire rate, and this one increase the also area of effect. So you don't have anything, but you have actually the supernova. That's why actually increasing the fire rate is really important, because you want to trigger this as much as you can. So that's what's actually increasing the fire rate of this one. I will say it's the best way to do. There is an argument for the damage, as there is no banner that increases damage, but I will still consider just going for fire rate when it comes to the mortar. For the arc tower, I go all time with fire rates. If you are playing lightning surge, you want to happen this as much as you can, so you need to increase a lot your fire rate. Same if you are going with the chain echo and you want to increase your crit chance. Here you just need to hire and fire more, not hire, fire more, so you just actually stack more crit chance. So it's a no-brainer. Maybe at some point you can consider actually increasing the crit damage, but at the end of the day I think it's not worth it, because you have this that increase also your crit damage. Also you can go with the critical operation that increase your crit damage, and you can just overall end up with a lot of crit through the banner. So I won't on top of that add another crit damage to the equation. I will just focus actually on getting more fire rate so we can just fire more. Now let's talk about Raven Tower, my favorite tower. I have a group for it, Raven Endless. That's why I name it Endless. Mail if you want to play really and go at least to wave 50 and try to beat. I think this is the best setup once again. You go for accuracy, penetration and 3 crit chance. This actually by itself will be enough to get up to 100%, because you have 5% as a base, you have the banner that increase 10%, plus you can also get 15% from the university, as it will increase 5% for each banner you take. I go with Frost plus Rune plus Raven, so that's 15%. So that will give you 30% in total, so 5 plus 10 plus 15. And you can also get the hero upgrade, and before level like wave 50 you will have the upgrade 4 times. Each time it's 10%. So ideally you will be getting 70% thanks actually to all the the passive that I mentioned, plus the upgrade from the hero, which will put you at 70%. You add 3 on top of it, and after that you go all on fire rate. If you don't want to play it on crit, just replace this one like that. Just depends on you. And why you need to get crit chance? Because we have really important banner, Omnipotence, that increased the crit damage by a lot. I was up to 500 something at some point when it was around wave 50, and it has a lot of base damage, so that's why I won't consider increasing the damage at all. And you got a lot of banner like the Twin Feather plus the Mastery. So you have Mastery, you have a Twin Feather that will just be increasing your like basic damage, so we don't really have to do much when it comes to base damage. Well, for Frost, honestly, I just use it all the time as a support, and I go either with range or fire rate. So if I don't have the chill explosion yet, that will just freeze all the enemies, I will just go with fire rate. But once I have this one, I want really to freeze a lot of enemies, I will just go actually with a lot of range. And once I got like a really good range where I'm good with it, then I switch just to auto fire rate, so increase it all the way up. I don't have the unique for it, so I did a run yet properly just to focus in on this. So maybe there is another option. Once again, I'm just talking about what I personally do. Regarding the Runestone, it's pretty straightforward. You go with fire rate because you have a lot of fire rates. So if you go like this, you can see like 1.4 per second that you are increasing, and you got a lot of banners that increase your damage. Well, mainly this magical charge, just if you stack a lot of magical spells, spell damage will be insane. You have also the prism, you transfer the damage, you have the focus rune, you have the trinity. So all those, even this one actually, killing an enemy carry 5% chance, so you want to trigger this more. So if you increase your fire rate, so this will be trigger more. So same, you go with fire rate, there is no way to go something else. Maybe there is an option, as I said, if you are going for the prism, to go a bit with crit chance to your like main banner, to have just like all the damage multiplied by 2 or 3, depends your crit. But I will say overall, just you want to go heavy on the fire rate. For Tornado, even though we have this one that's increased the crit chance, but I find the 3% is really low, you have to stack a lot even to consider actually going for something around crit. It's our will a plus to get, but focusing only actually on getting crit chance and crit damage to get benefit of this collapse banner is not definitely worth it. I go with fire rate all the way up to fire rates, mainly because of the stun, even though you have that actually, I would say 10-second cooldown between each stun, but more fire rate just means that actually you can, if you have a big wave, stun more enemies. Simply as that. I don't see increasing anything else besides the fire rate can worth it. Maybe the damage, but still, I would just stick with actually stacking a lot of fire rate. And last not least, let's talk about the Shadow. Shadow, fire rate. Simple as that. all time I use it. Maybe I used a couple of time actually as the main tower, and it was putting a lot of work. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to put that much work, but same, you just want to trigger a lot of weakness, a lot of stuff, and yeah, you can maybe consider going for the crit because we have this excess crit damage, but I have tried it. Honestly, it wasn't as good as going just for full fire rate, mainly if you are using it as a support for others, so you want just to apply more weakness. And same as I mentioned for the frost, I can just increase a couple of range so we can get really a big area, and from there I just go with the fire rate. There's just one exception, that what I have mentioned at the beginning, that you need all time going for actually block and armor. You can consider actually not going for that because you have this one that's decreased the block and the armor, but it means as well that you will need just to get a lot of banner, because 10% actually is not that great of a deal. So you have to go at least take, I think, 4 or 5 banner of this. So is it worth it going like 4 banner here instead of just like upgrading your tower to have 1% block and armor? That's up to you. Personally, I don't do it, but if you want to try it, feel free. And with that, we come to the end of this video. Very quick, but I just wanted to give a quick recap, and also get what are the best option. I have been asked multiple times, either during my streams or the videos, about doing some guide here and there, so I find that this is a good idea to do. So here you have it. I hope it helps some of you. I might be streaming today, depends how things are going, and if I manage to do it, well, see you there. Otherwise, see you for the next time. Have fun, take care.